I'm so excited to be back again this week. And I want to first thank everybody who sent their love and blessings and positive energy and healing energy after our show last week. And, it helps. It really, really does. And I want to talk a little bit more about that today, but let's bring Chase in, or Jace. Boy, I said that wrong. Let's bring Jace in, and he doesn't have his camera this week because they are having yet another typhoon there in the Philippines. And that's like what, five in the last few weeks?
Yes, that was a total of five. That was from letters, I think K to P, because we do our typhoons here in alphabetical order. So K to P happened only this November, which is crazy.
That is, well, my thoughts and prayers are with you. And so everybody that sent me positive energy and prayers, send them to Jace, but also to all of the other folks there in the Philippines. Now, when you have a typhoon, I understand that isn't something to laugh at. I mean, people lose their lives and their homes and all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's something that happens every year. We usually have 20 typhoons every year, and that was usually dispersed throughout the year, so everybody has, at least a chance to recover. But now that five of them happened in just the past 2 or 3 weeks, everybody was just in panic for all of those, which is, for us who happens it every year, it's just very sad because casualties are also happen every time that typhoon comes. So,
Yeah.
it's just very unfortunate.
Well, and like you said, with having them back to back to back, it's it's hard to fight a battle when you're down. And you got to get a chance to get up and shake yourself off before you start another battle. And you guys keep getting slammed while you're still down and trying to recover. So that my heart goes out for you. And I am sending positive energy and prayers to you in particular, Jace, but also to the folks in the Philippines. Now, we had an awesome guest on. Oh gosh, it's been a month or so ago now, and Scott McCain, right?
That was Scott Friedman. I'm so sorry about
Oh,
that.
Friedman.
Yeah.
Boy, isn't that awful? I forget last names. I forget my children's names, and I gave them their names. But Scott Friedman was on, and he's got an awesome organization that you can donate to that they take care of people in the Philippines and things like that. So I want you to take a moment and write this down. Together we can change the world. So the URL is twcctw.org, and that's Together We Can Change the World. So you can just go ahead and put that in there. But, you know, donate to these foundations and these charities because just the smallest thing can make the biggest difference in somebody's life. Um, having a shirt that you can wear because everything was destroyed in the typhoon or your home was blown away, having a blanket, um, getting some food. I mean, it adds up. And these foundations do a wonderful, wonderful work. And so if you can go ahead and go to twcctw.org and donate to them. And I'm sure there are other organizations and foundations out there, but this is one that we know about, and we know that this stuff goes right to the people. And so, near and dear to my heart, and I really would encourage you all to participate and to to help your neighbors out. And it doesn't matter how far away somebody lives; they're still our neighbors. And Jace, what could I send to you to make this an easier time for you?
I mean, fortunately for my family, we're okay, we're safe. So, um, Yeah.
Well, definitely be sending positive energy and prayers.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I want to talk about today is positive energy and prayers and sharing them with other people. And so, after last week's show, I got a lot of positive energy and prayers from many of you, and I really, really appreciate that. And people are like tiptoeing around the C word. And you know what? It's cancer. And if I were to pick the type of cancer you get, this would be the one. I'm going to be great. I'm going to be just fine. But that being said, all of us, no matter what it is that we're going through, just that we're having a bad day, we're we're having a typhoon, an earthquake, a tsunami, a tornado, a hurricane. I mean, there's just so many different kinds of natural disasters, let alone things that just happen. And we all need some help. And I'm not telling you to go through your house and grab everything you can and donate it, though that's always a nice thing to do. Um, but I am saying send positive energy, send prayers. Remember these people. And some people pray to a god, some just send out positive energy to the universe. Whatever it is that you do, but just thinking about these people and sending them love, really almost meditating, sending that love. Those energy waves do flow through the universe, and people feel that love. And things happen, miraculous things happen when you share those kinds of things with people. And, you know, we talk about, can you really feel energy? And I want to share a story real fast about negative energy, because you once you felt the negative, now you can be on the lookout for the positive, and it makes a huge difference. My good friend Janice Madriaga and I were teaching a seminar, and we'd come in early. We always did, and we'd go around to the tables and greet everybody and say hi, how are you, and find out what it was that they wanted to get out of the day, so that we could make sure we did our best to incorporate that in our teaching that day. And everybody was positive and happy and joyful, and it was a great group. And we started the morning off, and people are laughing and having a good time. And the very back of the room is where the doors were for people coming into the room. And Janice and I are both standing at the front of the room, and these two ladies walked in the back door, and we instantly could see and feel their negative energy to a point where we both looked at each other and we grabbed the table that was between us for support. And that sounds funny, but seriously, we watched. None of the women in the room, because it was a women's conference, none of the women in the room saw the two that came in, but we watched as that room, from the back row to the row in front of them to the row in front of them, all of a sudden their happiness and joyfulness just went. And it did. When it got to the front of the room where we were, it was like somebody has slammed against us. And people don't really stop and consider what their attitude does to the people around them. And these two women just were negative, and they did not want to be there. We did our best to bring the positive energy back into the room, but they were sucking it all right out of the room. And we did, truth, we did end up having to ask them to please leave the room. And they didn't want to be there. They told us they didn't want to be there, and we said, look, we'll count you as being here. You've come in, you've signed the role, but this is not a conducive place for you or for anybody else with you being here. Now, that was really hard to do, because you don't want to tell somebody you're too negative to be around, but sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to. And it took us probably another 2.5 hours to bring the group back into that jovial mood. Well, how did Janice and I keep positive energy through that? We had mentally prepared ourselves on a regular basis for positive energy. And so when that negative hit it, I mean, it was hard to deal with. But when that negative hit, we could pull on our reserves. And I'm asking everyone to build up reserves of positive energy, because you will have times where you have to pull upon those reserves. And it may be because you're around somebody else's negative energy. It may be because you found out that you've got something wrong with you. It may be that something's wrong with somebody else that you love dearly. It may be an event that's taken place. And if you have that positive reserve, it makes it easier for you to reach in and pull it out and utilize it for your life and for your own good. Now, this doesn't mean you have to run around being, Susie Sunshine and Peter Positive all the time, because bad things happen and it's okay to have a heavy heart. It's okay to be sad sometimes. It's okay to cry. In fact, I encourage you to cry. And I encourage you to face all emotions that you have. But I also strongly encourage you to pull upon your positive reserves. And sometimes just smiling makes a difference. And people have been asking me, how can you be so positive knowing that you have cancer? I mean, you've got to have a double mastectomy. Isn't that frightening? Yeah, actually, it is. And yes, I have cried. And yes, I have worried about things that might happen. But I went back to what my sister always said, and you choose to be happy. And I realized I could waste my time in the oh, woe is me. I can waste my time in stress and panic that nothing's going to work out. What's going to happen if it doesn't? Well, be prepared, but don't go there and live there now. I mean, and this is going to sound coarse and cold, and I apologize up in advance for that. But let's say I am going to die, and I'm not. But let's say I were told you've got 3 weeks left to live. Do I want to live those last 3 weeks sad and miserable? Or do I want my last 3 weeks to be filled with happiness and joy and seeing the good things around me? Now, it doesn't mean I have to be happy that I'm going to die. It means that I can choose to be happy and choose to look at the things around me that are positive, and I can share positive with other people. And people's last memories of me are not going to be she was down and out and oh, woe is her. They're going to remember that I had a good attitude and that I chose to be happy. And hopefully that will encourage somebody else to choose to be happy. Now, again, put everybody's minds at ease. I've got it's early stages of cancer. It's one of the less harmful cancers. It could be a whole lot worse, and I'm going to be fine. And I don't just say that to tell everybody, oh, I'm in denial and it's going to be fine. I am going to be just fine. I'll have a few opportunities to do some things differently from now on. But hey, it's change is the only constant in life. Change is the only constant in life. So build up your own reserves of positivity. And that being said, if you smile, and we'll talk about this another week. If you smile, it actually makes you look younger and thinner. So you want to smile as much as you can. But make it an honest smile. And smile from your heart, smile from your eyes, smile not just with your mouth. And again, we'll go over the smiling in a whole nother episode because I've got some things that I want you to practice on that. But send positive energy to those that need it. And if you've got your reserves, you've got extra that you can send. And, you know, I honestly can tell you when somebody's sending me positive energy because I get like this little boost. And it's I'm on high alert for it, and so you may not notice it right away for you, but if you start practicing and looking for it, and even looking in the mirror and sending yourself in the mirror positive energy sounds really weird, I know, but just practicing doing that. Get a friend across the world, across the city, across the room, and practice sending each other that energy and feeling it when it comes and feeling it when you send it. I get it's almost like a tingle that I get, and it just appeared. It's just like a real quick, and I would say a pinprick, only it doesn't hurt, but it's just a real quick tingle, and it infuses my whole system. And that's what I feel when you're sending me positive energy and love. And so I, again, really, really appreciate you sending me positive energy and love, um, and send it to other people. There are so many people out there that need positive energy and love. There are people who are just sad. There are people who don't feel worthwhile. There are people who are depressed, have anxiety. There are people who have faced a fire and have lost things, who faced an earthquake, a typhoon, a tsunami, hurricane, a tornado. I mean, all kinds of those things. And there are people who have lost a loved one. There are people who've just gotten bad news about their own health or the health of a loved one. I mean, the list can go on and on of things that can happen where people need your extra love and energy. But practice building up that positive energy, and it starts from really smiling inside. It starts from choosing to be happy, and it starts from being grateful for what you do have and not getting caught up in what you don't have or caught up in the oh woe is me. And I encourage you to do that. It has made all the difference in the world for me these last, couple of months. And I really do feel calm and at peace with what I'm about to go through, and what I've been going through. And I know that calm and peace comes from within, and it comes from the positive energy, and positive energy heals. And I send that to all of you. And Jace, come on back. I send positive energy to you. And I think about you all the time. And I just want you to know that I adore you. And I know you send me positive energy because I will feel it. And the next thing I know, you're sending me a note. And so I want to thank you personally for sending that.
Yeah. This is the first time that we talk for the past, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's
And
been a while.
yeah, I always include you in my prayers. So
Thank you. Thank you. And that means a lot to me. So, what would you give advice for building a positive attitude for other people?
I think for me, it's um oh my god, how can I say it? I am out of English. But um I think for me it's about knowing what are the things that you can control and the things that you cannot.
Yeah,
Because if you can recognize that there are things that you cannot actually control, you will have, less time stressing about it, and stress is not good. So if
yeah.
there's a chance for you to lessen it, it would be a better life. So
I love that. And knowledge is power. Learn what you can about the things that are going on around you. And you're right. You're 100% right, Jace. If you have no control over it, freaking out over it and worrying about it is not going to make it any better. So,
yeah,
what you do is you say, I have no control over that. What do I have control over? I have no control over the fact that I have cancer. I have it. I can't change that. I can't control that from that standpoint. But what I can control is visiting the doctors, finding out what avenues I have that I can use, what I can do to keep it from growing and spreading, what I can do to help heal, be it medically or be it thoughts. And thoughts do have an impact. And we'll, again, a whole nother show. But control what I can control. And what I can't control, understand it is out of my control. And I just have to trust that things will be all right. And that's one of Jace, that's one of my mom's favorite quotes is, it will all be all right in the end. If it's not all right, it's not the end.
That was beautiful.
Isn't that
Yeah.
great? So it will all be all right in the end. If it's not all right, it's not the end. Um, I'm going to put in a plug. You can see my earmarks. Living a positive life one moment at a time. Before we sign off, I want you to look at getting this. It's on my website under the store. And for those that want the hard copy, they've got it both in ebook, which you can just get and if you want the hard copy, we've got a code right now that is free ship for free shipping. So you won't have to pay for the shipping on it. So go ahead and go in and get this. It's short and sweet and easy to go through. And the grammar is horrible in it, just to tell you right off, because it was a bunch of blog posts that I did that we put together. But it's got a lot of great ideas in there for building up your positive reserves and for living that positive life one moment at a time. That being said, I am so grateful you joined us again this week. Don't forget to join us Wednesday for Power Surge. We're going to have a fabulous guest again this week, and that is every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, KARENisms. And I'm going to have a bunch pre recorded for when I'm recovering from surgery. And surgery is 2 weeks from today. So I'm excited to have this over with. And I appreciate again all of your loves and prayers. Till next week, I'll see you later. Ciao for now. Thank you for watching this episode of KARENisms. If you found anything interesting, entertaining, or useful, please be sure and hit the like button. Now, to find out more about me, my coaching, events, or even resources, go to drkarenperkins.com. Again, that's Dr. Dr. Karen, Karen, Perkins, Perkins.com. And if you haven't already, subscribe.